good evening, and welcome to my live tonight. My name is Lillian Ames, and I want to thank you for joining me every Sunday night while I touch on different topics. I hope that the topics that I do reach, that it stirs something in your spirit, that both of us grow from this, learn from this, strengthen each other from this spiritually and emotionally and physically. Tonight I just want to talk about the storm of life. I did a posting on about the whisper in my ear. When the devil whisper in my ear, you're not strong enough to withstand the storm. And if you're wondering why I'm touching on this topic, I want to touch on something that I myself is going through. I feel like for a couple of weeks that I've been going through some storms, and I'm sure that there are others out there that are going through storm, but I've not recognized that it is a storm. But today I want to whisper in the devil's ears that I am a child of God, a woman of faith, a warrior of Christ. And today, both my audience and myself, we are the storm. We're going to take back our emotional grounds in anything and every attack that we have tonight. We are going to be that storm that will go in and take it back. Now, I've prepared a few things, about 7 things to do when facing the storm of life. Because the storm of life, it's like a landslide. You cannot prepare for a landslide. When a landslide is coming, there's no prediction of a landslide, but there are signs that will tell you that a landslide could occur based on the fact that it has occurred, based on the fact that when we have this much rain in one specific area, there is a possibility that there will be a landslide. So I'm talking about the landslide, the storm that becomes a landslide storm in our life that we're not prepared for. However, it is possible. Now, the 7 things to do when facing the storm of life was written by Harold Arron, and I want to give credit to him. These are not my words. These are the words of Harold Arron. He said, have you ever been in a serious thunderstorm? And we all know that when there is a thunderstorm going, there is lightning and thunder and rain associated with it. Or maybe even an hurricane or a tornado. I myself have not been through a tornado, but I've been through a hurricane. And that was no game. When serious storms come up, what are we looking for? We're looking for a safe place. Where is that safe place that we go to when we are experiencing storm? How would you react, or how do we react when we are in the middle of a storm and we have nowhere out and we have no experience, or we are alone and just standing, we're going through the storm in silence. We're afraid to talk about the storm because we don't believe that anybody else is going through the storm and can relate to it. How do we handle that storm? Well, I want to talk about one familiar storm that was written in Mark 4, verse 37. And it's from the Amplified Bible, which said, and a furious storm of a wind of a hurricane proportion arose, and the waves kept beating into the boat, so that it was already becoming filled with water. So the storm of life could be an emotional storm. It could be a storm that you're just going through with your kids. It could be a financial storm. It could be a storm that you're going through at work. Whatever the storm is, it's all classified as storms. But I want to let you know that when the storm is coming, you need to sit back and take note that after a storm there will be a calm. But what happens when you are in that storm? What you do when you're in that storm is what is crucial to you coming forth out of that storm. When a storm is brewing, there is a weather pattern that forms. Whether it's a storm in the sky or a storm at work or an emotional storm, you know that there is a pattern that is formed. Storm comes in all kind of deadly forms. How do we overcome these storms? How do we overcome emotional storms? When you wake up in the morning, you're not expecting to go through a storm, but the storm is there. I want to let you know that when the automatic pressure is high in your area, that means a fair weather because the atmosphere can resist stormy weather's pattern that are trying to come into your life, which means that when you are in a place of security, when you're in a place that you can stand, when you're in a place where you're filled up and there's no empty space, the storm cannot enter because there's no room to accommodate that storm. But when the pressure is low, when you're feeling low and down and out, that means that the storm can come into your life, because storm takes a part of the least resistant. So like I said, when you're feeling high, when you have bombarded yourself, when you have safeguarded yourself with the word of God, when you safeguard yourself with having the blessed assurance that when you're in a storm, there is a way out. Nothing can attack you. It will attack, but it will not enter because there's no room. You've filled that space. But when you're going through a storm and you're at the lowest point of your life and you have secluded yourself and you're not letting anyone in and you do not know how to call upon the living God, then you know that the storm will enter in because you have least resisted. There's no barricade put up. There is nothing put up that will prevent the storm from occupying all those free space. The Spirit revealed the truth to me because I'm going through a storm right now. But the truth has become clear to me that the only way for me to overcome emotional storm is to keep my pressure high, is to keep my level of expectation high, is to keep my level of faith high. That will fill every space. Is to keep my trust and my blessed assurance high. That will fill that spot where the storm cannot enter. It's to knowing who I trust in. It's to knowing who I am. It's to knowing that it's not me. And it's to knowing that every storm that I go through, I must pass it to go to another step. Is it easy for me to go through a storm? It's not easy for none of us to go through a storm. A storm can cause breakdown, nervousness. A storm can shatter your mind. A storm can cause you to diverse into loneliness. A storm can cause you to not have interaction with anyone because that storm is going through and you've filled yourself with nothing but the storm is coming. What do? You need to find a safe place. You need to know whose child you are. I realize that I'm a new creation in Christ Jesus. And no, I'm not trying to preach to anyone, but I'm going through a storm and I would get up in the morning and I would think, why me? Why am I going through this? Why am I going through this? How do I come out of this? I know how to come out of it because I know what the word of God said. But we are flesh, we are weak. And there are times when storms are attacking us. We cannot do anything but to dwell on what is causing the storm, whether it's a person, whether it's a situation. All we do is dwell on that. And I'm here to tell you tonight that you don't need to dwell on that anymore. I'm asking you tonight, and I'm telling you tonight, that you need to pick yourself up, to find that strength to come out of your storm. It's to need to get your spirit reactivated. It's to get up and realize that you are a faithful warrior, that you are the storm. The storm is attacking you because you are a storm. And because of the potential, because of the ability that is inside of you, the storm attacks you first. But I want you to know that you have a warrior spirit. You have a spirit that can conquer anything. And you are that storm tonight. I have become the storm. I have become the storm. I realize that storms are coming at me because there is a fear of what I can do. There's a fear of who I can become. There's a fear of the potential inside of me will break through. And that is why the storm is coming. But I realize that I am already a storm. I have already attacked all that was attacking me or seems to be attacking me. I realize that I've got the handle in my hand. I realize that I'm the storm that you're trying to prevent. But I'm here to tell any storm that I am the storm that is attacking. I've turned the table on that. But when you are spiritual low, when your inability, worry, trouble, fearful, doubtful, depressed, jealousy, prone to anger, selfish, envious, and lack of self-control, when that creeps in because of the storm that you're going, when you feel this way, check your body. When you experience negative emotion, you will feel tension in your body. The enemy also often uses tension to move you into practice addictive habits. Don't do it, because you are the storm. You're the storm that the enemy is fearful of. So he's attacking you in all different forms, making you think that a storm is coming at you. But remember that you are the storm. The enemy will have us like a puppet on a string. So when you feel tense, consciously relax your body to release that tension. When you're going through your storm, when negativity is creeping in on you, relax yourself and breathe. Consciously relax your body to release that tension and think as a winner. Think at the storm that you are. Think of the things that you want to destroy. Think of the things that you want to nullified, that it cannot attack anymore. Think of all the things that is affecting you negative and get rid of that. You can get rid of that by having a mindset. The more you are relaxed, the harder it makes for the enemy to pull you on or to pull you in. The more you relax and start bringing positive thinking and start checking your circle and start going around positive people and start reading and edifying yourself, the more you do that, the enemy cannot pull you in. Nothing can pull you in. No storm can pull you in. The more you edify yourself, the more you click into that, nothing can stop you. Your storm is in effect and your storm is blowing. Retreating to the Father, praying, meditation, that's what I do. It's not easy to pray when you're going through a storm, but there are many ways of praying. Some people pray with tears. Some people pray by walking. Some people praying by just crying out, Lord have mercy. Some people praying by meditating. There are all different ways of conquering the storm in your life, because remember, you are the ultimate storm. Remember what I said. When the devil whispers in your ear and saying that you're not strong enough to withstand the storm, today I want you to whisper back to the enemy, I'm a child of God, a woman of faith, a warrior, and I am the storm. Once you identify that you are the storm, nothing can stop you. When you praise and worship, it fills your heart. You need to find something that brings you comfort, something that you can take your mind off stuff. Then you will know that your spiritual optimistic pressure is high enough to overcome any storm that will come your way. You need to think positive. You need to find yourself in a place of worship. If you're a worshiper, you need to worship. If you're a singer, you need to sing. If you're a baker, you need to bake. Whatever you need to do to usher that storm in a different path, then you need to do it, because remember, you're the storm. You're the one that steers your life where you want it to go. I hope you start practicing these principles. I myself is practicing these principles every day. As you stay filled and focused and is led by that still voice that speaks to you, you will become victorious. The storm will come, but it will not touch you, because you already build up a barrier against the storm. Whatever you're struggling with today, your storm could be that you are going through a struggle and you feel like you cannot stop eating. It could be something that you're going through, which is a storm in your life, like you're going through something and you cannot stop drinking. It is a storm. It is a storm that is attacking you, but the willpower is inside of you. That decision is inside of you to make that conscious decision, knowing who you are. When you're coming out of your eye, when you're coming out of that depression, you already project who you want to be, who you want to become. And I want you to focus on that. I want you to focus on that and pull yourself up as the storm that I know that you are. We all struggle with different things. We struggle with emotional eating. Some of us struggle with depression management. Some of us struggle with eating well, growing spiritually. Some of us struggle because we are not motivated to move. Some of us struggle with just taking a step outside. Some of us struggle with time management. It's also a storm. A storm is not just an attack. Some storms are uncategorized. Some struggle of not being victorious in what you're doing. Whatever you're doing, the storm cannot affect your life unless you let it affect your life. Now I've owned my storm. When trouble is headed your way, you always know what to do because you can sense it. Some people would say, this is not my first rodeo. Do you find yourself having sleepless nights because of your storm? Do you see a weather pattern forming because of your storm? How do you handle the storms? You got to know who you are. You got to know your God. You got to know that He will never fail you, or He'll never tell you to do anything dangerous without a way of escaping that storm. He will never put you in danger. If there's a storm brewing in your life, I want you to take pardon from me tonight, because there is a storm brewing in my life. But I've taken a higher road. I believe in God. So I am taking Him, I'm asking Him to take me under the shadow of His wing to help me to cope with my storm. Because He has made me a storm. And that is why the enemy is attacking me. What's attacking your life tonight? What storm are you going through tonight? Are you going through a storm of failure? Are you going through a storm of being held back? Are you going through a storm of never having felt love? What kind of storm you're going through? Are you going through a storm of poverty? Are you going through a storm of never finishing, of always cutting off in the middle? Are you going through a storm of depression? I'm here to tell you that there is help for those who need it. If you're going through a storm tonight, and if you see a storm brewing, if you're having trouble focusing on the storm that you are, that will beat the storm that's brewing, I want you to give me, I want you to send me a message through my inbox. Let us fight this storm together. There is a storm brewing in everybody's life. Doesn't matter how secure you think you are, there is a storm brewing. Now I ask you again, how do you comfort yourself during a storm? Do you pick up your bag and run, or do you stand and fight the storm? Because you are that storm and you're taking back. You're taking back your grounds. You're standing your grounds against any storm that's attacking you. I want you to believe in yourself. There's no tornado. There's no thunderstorm. There's no mind-altering situation. There is nothing to be frightened or fearful for. Because you know who you are. You know what you want to become. You know who you were. I want you to stand forth and handle that storm. When the storm of life affects you, what do you do? Tonight, I want you to believe in yourself. Be strong enough to withstand any storm. Remember, when a storm attacks you, it's because you're going to another level. When a storm comes at you, it's because you need to get to another level. And every level that you go to, there are circumstances that are more difficult than before because there's more responsibility. There is more gain every step that you make. But with that, you fight to keep your situation. You fight to handle what you're going through. Don't let the storm of life affect you. Today, I want you to whisper back to the enemy that you're a child of God, a woman or a man of faith, a warrior of Christ. And that you are that storm. I declare myself the storm tonight. Now with that note, I want you to have a wonderful evening. And just remember, there is no storm that can stop you because you are the storm. You're a warrior. You're a person of faith. You're a child of the living God and you are that storm. Nothing can stop you. Each time a storm come in your way, it's a lever that you have to pass to go to the next step. Now I want you to stand strong and be that storm that will conquer any emotional situation that you have going. Any fight that you have going. Any mind troubling situation that you're going. Be that strong storm. Have a great evening.